It's time to talk professional wrestling. My name is Erik Rupp. I'll be your host today on Kayfabe Kommentary as we talk about NWA Powerrr Episode 11. Well, this aired last week, and it started off with Trevor Murdoch giving the good news. He got a contract with the NWA. Now, this guy deserves it. This guy earned that contract. He's gone out there, he's worked his ass off, and he's done a great job in the ring. He has been a total professional, and he is a huge asset to the NWA. So that's great news. Trevor Murdoch under contract with the NWA. Now, at the same time, you had Zicky Dice out there, who's also in the TV title tournament. And I got to say, Zicky Dice, this guy is colorful, he's outlandish, but he's really annoying. And the question is he really any good? Can he really wrestle in the ring? We've seen him once. I know he's got a long history. We'll have to see how he does in the NWA because, let's face it, how good you were before you were in the NWA doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be great there. So we'll see how that goes with Zicky Dice, the outlandish Zicky Dice. And then, of course, coming in was Pope Elijah Burke. Now, Pope, he came out, surprised a lot of people with his presence. Again, you get these people coming in and surprising the fans with their appearances. And so we got Pope in there, and he's looking to create a team. He's looking for his superpowers. He's looking for his four horsemen. He wants to create a group that is going to become the dominant power in the NWA, which would be interesting given the fact that Nick Aldis has his group. So will these groups kind of work parallel to each other, or will they come into conflict and run head on? That's going to be interesting to see. But with Pope, we've got another top talent in the NWA, and that is great news. Then after that, Pope went over to the announcer's table as a guest commentator doing color commentary for the first match of the show, which was Ricky Starks against Eddie Kingston as part of the TV title tournament. And that match was exactly what the NWA was looking for. It was action-packed, it was hard-hitting, and definitely fast-paced. It was a really, really good match. A great way to open the show as far as the first match. And again, showing that this TV title tournament is a big deal, and it's going to be really cool as the shows carry out until the title is crowned, presumably at Hard Times, the next NWA pay-per-view. And I'll tell you what, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston, both of them looked great. Either one of them could have won that match. Ricky Starks came out on top, but neither guy would have had to have been embarrassed or have to hold their head in shame or anything like that, because that was a great match and both of them looked really good. So after that, Royce Isaacs of the Wild Cards and Nick Aldis' new group, he came out with his new girlfriend, and he proceeded to act like a jackass. I mean, one of the things he did is he said something inappropriate to David Marquez, which David Marquez clearly wasn't comfortable with. And he started boasting about how he could be a singles wrestler, and he wanted to prove himself to his girlfriend, and he'd take on somebody right then and there to show what a great wrestler is, and he is a legitimate singles wrestler. So James Storm comes out and answers the challenge. Royce Isaacs reluctantly heads over towards the ring, but has to be beaten down outside the ring and thrown inside before he goes in the matchup. James Storm then beats the crap out of him for a couple of minutes, just absolutely embarrasses Isaacs. I mean, Isaacs kind of embarrassed himself doing what he did, and Storm just totally dominated him. And then Isaacs just walked away. He chickened out of the match. He was overmatched against James Storm. He really looked like an idiot, and he walked away. And James Storm proved why he is such a great wrestler. He's tough, he's got good wrestling skills, and the crowd loves him. And he showed why in that match there, what little of that match there was. Just like he owned that questionable Josephus a couple months ago, James Storm owned the match, owned the crowd. It was awesome. And that is why he is likely going to become a champion in 2020. I suspect he's going to be carrying that 10 pounds of gold at some point in 2020. It'll be interesting to see who gets it first, if it's him or Eli Drake, because both of them have their eyes set on that title. And, of course, Nick Aldis doesn't want to give it up, and that's why he's put his group together. Now, also on the show, you had this amazing promo from former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Tim Storm. Tim Storm is one of the all-time great representatives of the NWA. The guy is a class act. He is a true professional. He really gets it. The crowd loves him, and with good reason. Tim Storm's a good guy, but he's a tough guy, and he doesn't take any crap, and he wants another shot at Nick Aldis, especially after what happened last week. So Tim Storm is getting that shot against Nick Aldis. It may not be for the 10 pounds of gold, but he is getting a shot at him, and he can derail Nick Aldis' attempt to hold both the 10 pounds of gold and the TV title at the same time. For his part, Nick Aldis was on the show. He made an appearance. He was there with his new group, showing off his new attitude, being the intimidator and the tough guy. And so he gave Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express a chance to clarify what Morton had said the week earlier. Aldis clearly took exception to what had been said, but he gave Morton a chance to come out and clarify it, trying to intimidate Morton a little bit. Morton, he got into the spirit of Christmas. He showed what time has given him, and that's given him wisdom and experience and perspective. And Morton was a class act. He told Aldis that if he had offended him in any way, in the spirit of Christmas, he was going to apologize. Nick Aldis accepted the apology with a caveat. He basically tried to intimidate both Ricky Morton and the Rock and Roll Express, basically letting them know if they said anything about him in the future, there would be consequences. This is definitely not the same old classy, dignified Nick Aldis that we've seen for the last couple of years. Now, when you're talking about the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, one of the names you've got to start mentioning, if you haven't already started mentioning it, is Eli Drake. Eli Drake is a great wrestler in the ring, and outside of the ring, he is one of the most charismatic guys that we've ever seen in the NWA. He is fantastic. He cut a great promo with David Marquez, and he was talking about 2020. Now he's got new goals, and goals rhymes with gold, and it's the 10 pounds of gold that he is going to be carrying at some point in the future. Whether it's sooner or later, we don't know, but he is going to be the guy representing the NWA as World's Heavyweight Champion, the real World's Heavyweight Champion, sometime in 2020. With all the talent that the NWA has on their women's roster, it's no surprise that they had a big match on the show. Now, for this one, it was a 3-on-3 tag team match. Melina, Thunder Rosa, and Marty Bell against Allison Kay, ODB, and the still injured Ashley Vox. Now, the interesting thing about this match was that the winner of the match, whoever got the pin, would get to set their next opponent as a singles match. Now, that was really an interesting little caveat that they threw into the match, and the winner of the match, the one who got the pin, was Thunder Rosa. And I think just about everybody thought that she was going to pick Allison Kay and go after a title shot, because everybody wants to see that match. They want to see Allison Kay against Thunder Rosa to see who really is the best women's wrestler in the NWA. Well, rather than getting to make her own choice, as she was just about to announce who she was going to wrestle, who she was picking to be her singles opponent, Melina jumped in and basically saying that Thunder Rosa was going to be fighting ODB in her next match. And Thunder Rosa reluctantly went along with that. Now, you have to wonder why. Why is Melina doing this? Why is she holding Thunder Rosa down? I mean, that's essentially what she's doing. She is holding Thunder Rosa back. She is not letting her go after the title. Why not? Why is Melina so concerned about Thunder Rosa getting a title shot? Well, I'll tell you this. I suspect it's because Melina knows she can't beat Thunder Rosa one-on-one. And if Thunder Rosa becomes the women's champion, then Melina's not going to become the champion herself, and she knows that. So she doesn't want Thunder Rosa to win that title. She wants to hold Thunder Rosa down until Melina herself gets a shot at that title. And that's really at some point going to blow up in her face, because Thunder Rosa is going to get pissed off, and she's going to take it out on Melina. And in that case, I would not want to be in Melina's position. Finally, to close out the show, they had another great TV title tournament match. This one, a bit of a grudge match, Colt Cabana versus the Question Mark. And this was a match, it was just, again, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. That's all the time they had, so there was no messing around. It was action-packed, fast-paced. This was another great match, and it could have gone either way. Both guys looked good. Colt Cabana really wanted to get his revenge, basically, because it was the Question Mark who cost him his national championship. So he had a chance to get some revenge here, but the Question Mark got the win after hitting Colt Cabana with the Mongrovian spike as Colt Cabana went off the top rope. That was it. Game over. The Question Mark gets the win and moves on in the TV title tournament. It will be interesting to see how Mongrovian Karate does against his next opponent. But this already this tournament has been fantastic. And it's going to be really fun to watch how these matches go forward, especially the next match between Nick Aldis and Tim Storm.